All right. Good morning to you all. I promised meeting you this evening, but it looks like it might not come on because I have to travel. And in view of that, I needed to do this quick presentation, or in other words, I did the hands-on for you so that you can follow and to help you through with your project work. Now I indicated that with the abstract, okay, it's just a simple thing. It shouldn't be more than 500 words. Well, it can be 500, but not more than that. And this is why I have an article here to show you. So let me just show you an article. You see, this is the whole abstract from here to here. You see, it's not much. Something simple. And this is a summary of work. And when we read through this article, you realize that it's telling us everything about the work. All right, so multimodal medical image fusion refers to the fusion of two or more medical images obtained by different imaging methods into one image. Multimodal medical images contain a lot of useful information that helps doctors to make a diagnosis. In this study, a multimodal medical image fusion method is proposed based on the Laplacian pyramid. That's the LP decomposition. Okay, so look at this. So this is talking about the method. So you see the methodology has been mentioned here. Now, from here to here, it tells us what the research is about. Now, when we go further, it's telling us that the adaptive sparse representation is used or was used to also reduce noise. So you see another method was employed here. So all about methodology. Now we go to the next one. It says that the proposed fusion. So now this is their methodology. So what they adapted, what they did. So has been mentioned here. So in your case, you are doing development. You mentioned the kind of operation that you have, the solution you have been able to develop. Okay. And finally, the fused image was obtained. So this is telling us what the result is. So these are the results. And it goes further to say, experimental results show that the proposed method could effectively fuse the image, the medical images with detailed information. So now this is what he's saying. But you see, not every, I will say it again, not every article might be right. These articles are paid, but then whoever, you can see them, they are all Chinese. Chinese, they don't usually understand English. You get it? So usually when they are doing things like this, the journals accept them because they feel they are from China. So they accept them. But critically, it falls short of a lot of problems from here down here. They just wrote the experimental results showed that the proposed method could effectively fuse. Yes, but that they did not bring by what margin. They didn't bring any values. It's important, relevant that you bring some values. Assuming you have used a machine learning algorithm to do something, you should be able to say that, oh, it was able to do the work per a certain percentage, per a precision amount of this, per an accuracy amount of this. Get it, but they did not. And could also, they are just trying to say, they just mention it in words. The research results are of great significance in the field of medical image. So this, putting it just there like that, is a conclusion. There is no recommendation. I guess so. It falls short, and we are saying that the abstract is what is a summary of all the work we have done. So if you have done introduction, you can see here you have introduction. Then you come down to Related works also means literature review, the works that you reviewed. Okay, related works. It also means the works that you have reviewed. So you can see that they have SR method. So meaning that they use the SR method to get something going. Okay, they also use the LP method. Okay, and they must have also used another. So you have a dictionary learning. Okay, so these are the existing methods that they use. So all these equations you are seeing are coming from the existing methods. And that is why they are quoting them. You get it? So when we come to 3, that's the proposed approach. So the method that they adopted, what they did. Okay, so if you look at it, this is what they are trying to say. So from here, they are saying that they did source image decomposition. What entailed in it? So this is what they have written that they have done. You can imagine, they have done all this, but they never mention some of them, even in their abstract, which is very bad. So this one like this, we are criticizing. Okay. They did image restriction, fusion. They did all this, but they never mentioned there are even results. Look at them. See, there are results. I get the experimental setup. They did a setup. You get it. They did a subject evaluation. These are all the subjects, using subjects when you mean samples, things that they worked on. This is what they worked on. They did all this. Okay. And there was an objective evaluation. I mean, they did some evaluations and they got some, look at the results. They got some results. Conventional statistical indicators. So what are these numbers referring to? I get in it. They never mention anything. So this is why I said it's a problem. What even marvels me is the fact that having done all this plenty stuff, you have this to show, but when it came to discussion, something small, look at it from here to here. That's all they were done, which is very, very wrong. I get in it. So if they did discussion means that the results you have gotten, explain what this means. So here they just place the artifacts for the vision system of human from E of figure. So if you look at the figure 5 to 7, so from 5 to 7, let's see figure 5. So this is 6. Where's 5? This is figure 10. Where's figure 5? So it's even strange. Figure 5, okay. So figure 5, where's figure 5? Figure 5. So from figure 5, I think this is where it starts. This is where the image starts. So figure 5 to figure 6, fusion results. So those are the results. You get it. They just made reference to it, and that was all. They didn't mention anything about it in discussion, which is very bad. Discussion means that you would take the results bit by bit and explain what each. So what are these numbers? What are these Q, this L, this N? What does it mean? You see, they are here, but you should be able to, you are just giving the results. You can just put the results verbatim. But when it comes to discussion means let's discuss. We need to discuss the results. So if you have done development and you've gotten a particular solution, we need to discuss what that solution is going to do. Maybe it's a dashboard. Why would that dashboard benefit the users? You get it. Maybe the dashboard, they will get the admin. They will also be able to select other users. They'll be able to do something in there that is tangible. You need to explain all that. That's what it means. But here they have actually referenced all the images that they have placed there. Referencing means that in figure 9, so figure 9 is the table they're referring to. In figure 9, it is clear that DWT method has scored a little over the proposed method in terms of the the particular value and that of the proposed method just next to that of the DWT. So here, they are trying to make some, in terms of these values, they are trying to say that DWT, so this is the DWT, okay, you can see it here, DWT. So in terms of the values, they're saying DWT did 0.0165. What does that imply? They didn't even state out what exactly that implies. They just made reference to it. That is all. So, yes, not every journal is right. Certain times they might have their own issues. Okay. So, this is just an example of what I was just trying to tell you. So, in terms of getting the article, so this article, for instance, we can get a name of the article straight up from this. So, this is a multimodal medical image fusion, right? So you can copy this. This is not a problem. So this one, we'll just paste it here first. Then I'll cut it from here and send it in here. So assuming you are working on it, you will just put it there like this. Okay. All right. And you enter. Okay. Then we come to, that was just the title. All right. Now we come to the abstract. So this is the abstract. So you need to say something about the abstract. So the abstract is a multimodal medical image fusion that refers to the fusion of two or more medical images, all right, obtained by different imaging methods into one image. So meaning that there's going to be a fusion of an image or various images into one. So when you are writing multimodal about this multimodal image, you just rephrase this and say, so I use a multimodal image fusion that puts one or more medical images got from, you're not using the direct words, okay? Otherwise we put like plagiarism. So you can say images got from different imaging methods into one image. If one is okay, right? So you go back again, want to look at, because they in their work, they didn't indicate much. So you said you need to mention the methods. So in this study, a multimodal medical image fusion method is proposed based on, so they based it on, so let's say the composition and the so you indicate that Lapsian LP decomposition and the adaptive sparse were the methods adapted. You get it? So they adapted those to now get their own work. So from there, the proposed fusion method first used the LP decomposition to split country, and then the S position respectively. Finally, the fused image was obtained by inverse Laplace pyramid transfusion. So we need to also indicate that indicate this method. We indicate this method. Okay. So there's a more so then get it right. More so, the fused image was obtained by the Laplace parameter transformation or transform. Okay, transform. So at the end of the day, okay, so results show that the proposed method could effectively fuse the images into a detailed information perfectly, and was also reduce the influence of artifact noise. So to a large extent, you can also negate the noise. So we can say to a large extent, noise and block effects were significantly reduced. So you don't want to quote it word for word. So this is just by that. So we can now take this, okay, we'll cut it and then put it in here. I'm getting it. Then we come to the research questions. So in this work, we need to read. So these are the introduction. Introduction will not have the questions there. So let's go further. Okay, so inspire. So you see that at the end of the day, this project work or this research was inspired by the LP. So you see that they indicated it there. I get it. The LP method and the ASP method. So in your paper or in your project work, you need to write something that was inspired by you. So if you are using, somebody used a code igniter, somebody used Laravel, somebody used a particular method to get something done, you need to say, okay, it was inspired by this or so and so, and you reference the person. I get it. So that's what this is trying to talk about. But here, let's go further. Composition method split the multimodal combinations. Okay, so these are just some advantages they're talking about. So the rest of the paper are organized as such. So this one is just, let's say that these are previous works. What are they talking about? So here, they haven't actually indicated their objectives. That's another problem. You get it? That's another problem. Here, they propose what to do. Proposal is not enough. So here, they say propose approach. Following steps, step first, step each, multiple than a seconds. It's not 10. So here you can see that obviously there's nothing to do. They've seen a particular paper and they want to do the same thing. There are no, well, let's go to objectives. Maybe they stated it then we didn't know. I'm going back to objectives. At present, only the external about the extract potentially the extra to enhance ability in managing by processing and natural signals the theories, i.e., however, the application of the language and the construct. So they are just making references to so many things. So, as it were, the method proposed in this paper has the following three outstanding advantages. Yes, but what are they actually doing? So you see that they didn't categorically state. They didn't categorically state what the paper was about. So this is another problem. Okay, I did not explain. So here, you might not get any research questions. You might not also get any. So here, we'll get a methodology because already they have stated that they use the LP and the ASR methods to do it based on what they proposed. So you see here that shows that the schematic diagram of this proposes that they use 3 steps: the source image decomposition, hierarchical fusion, image reconstruction. Okay, so and each step they used by the LP decomposition method. So invariably, you can take that the first step and second and third step. You can copy this, then reface it. Now we have so many softwares. You can use Grammarly to change, or you can use Quillbot to reconstruct this if you want to. So the steady so here we can just write it. The steady use LPG composition method. And LSP method as well as the inverse LP transform. So to reconstruct reconstruct images as a single file. So this is what it is. So you can take off this, then we use this as the methodology. So here, indicate this is what they did. I get in. So the research finding, what was found out at the end of the day. So the result will tell us all these calculations and stuff are just there to confuse you. That's all, but it forms part, at least it gives, this is what they call research. A lot of confusion here and there, but in your work, you are doing much more of a solution, okay? So these are the processes involved, a lot of things. So what is and so based on this result gotten from the experiments, we need to see their conclusion, what they concluded on. So this is it. So the fused image of CT MRI images must be carefully observed by a doctor before diagnosis. Therefore, the evaluation of multi-modal fusion needs to consider not only the suitability of the evaluation indexes, but also whether the indexes are in line with the human visual system. So whether subject or objective evaluation, it can be found that the proposed method is better than other fusion methods indicating including LP. All this is just gibberish. It didn't actually indicate what exactly. So you see that by going through this article, we are able to tell that the paper was good or not good. So in your analysis, you can write there. So in your analysis here, so you can indicate that even though the study carried out experiments, they failed to articulate their findings, and it's legit. So this one, that is what you have come across. So they failed because after reading it, you read that they didn't do much. So let's go back here. That's all, they've ended. There are no future works, nothing. So usually a work like this should have future works. They never mentioned anything about future works. So this, so you can indicate that that's the gap. When they say gap, they're trying to say that the problem identified. So this paper failed to give future direction to research research of multimodal medical images into single viewed images. So this is after going through all that, this has become our work. This is one work. So the next one, you come here, then in that order. So you share the task among yourselves. If you are 4 in a group, you share it 5, at least get some articles. If you are 2 in a group, you share it 5, so that you can look at certain things to talk about. So this example of what to do. So now we have been able to glean this paper. Now the next line of action is to know how to include it in your work. Okay, so let's say that we have a paper that we are working on. So for us to have this, where did I go to get that? So I took this paper from here, multimodal medical image. So this one I used, multimodal, this one, and multimodal. Okay, using the Laplacian pyramid. So you see, it's about jargons. They just used a lot of jargons, but they didn't do anything. So in order for me to use that paper, I would bring it in here. So I will create, under this, I'll create a new collection, and I'll call it multimodal. So that is what I'm working on. So once I have multimodal here, I'll just drag my articles. So maybe assuming these are all the articles are downloaded. So I can just Control O, then drag them onto the Zotero platform. See, so, and to sometimes do it and get good effect, you must have internet facility, so that as you put the articles, so you see that I have committed them into it. So they'll be going. So these articles that I'll be working with. So because there is internet connectivity, it will be processing them. What is it doing? It is retrieving metadata. So all this, you see, is retrieving metadata. So once it gets it, it's able to tell that, oh, it is Hassan et al. They did the paper. So it will go through the internet and then locate those with what do you call it? Metadata, meaning that the authors and their document object identifiers, DOIs. So it's retrieving that data. And depending on how fast your machine is or your internet is, it will give you access to all this data. So you see, it's, it's working. Retrieving the data. Let's wait a while to see. And if some are not also credible, it will not be able to pull in data for you. And that will mean you have to continue searching for materials. It's taking some time. Maybe I should have placed it in bit by bit. Now it's slowing down my machine. Excuse me. So you can see that it's finished. But what we were working on, what I told you that had a lot of issues. You see, it says error. That error is not it's not as if it wasn't expected. Let's do it again. So let's see whether to be able to retrieve. If it does not retrieve, that means that there's a problem with that particular article. That has been taken off the shelf or something, because I realized there were a lot of issues with that particular paper. So it's either, you see, error. So mean that it is true. When I was reviewing it, okay, that is our literature review. When I was reviewing it, I got to realize that there were issues with it. Some of the issues, and I've made it clear, is here. There were no research questions. How come there were no research questions? And research is based on research questions. You don't have objectives. You get it. And then here there were no concrete findings that were made. You get it. And so how then do you say you have solved the problem? So it's true. I didn't have to even go through one doing it. These were my reactions to the paper. So you see that this particular paper, even though, but I downloaded it online, but even though I picked it to look at it, these were the issues I was getting. So that's why in the academic world, literature review is very relevant. If you don't review the paper and just carry it because it says something that you are saying, put it in your work. Somebody can see it and say, you didn't do due diligence. I get in it. So those are some of the issues, this particular part, for instance, because it has not been, I cannot get the data for it. I cannot reference it in my work. Mean that I have to take it off, just like that. So assuming I have more papers, and then maybe this one was able to work. Medical image fusion using enhance. So let me see who wrote it. Okay, XU. So these guys, you did it. So I can even view it. If I double click on that, I can view. Good. So at least these people have done some work. I don't have to go through it. I can just see right from here. See that here, they played the objective. They were clear, but there is not how to write an abstract. but they just placed everything there. So this is the objective, all right? They even stated the method that was adopted, and they have results. You see the results that were used, okay? And they have their conclusions there. So what makes this one different from the other? So you can see that this one is stated out exactly what they were trying to do, what they were able to achieve. I mean, everything clear here. So you see that this one is quite different. Okay. Then this one have a problem with it because they didn't cite uh, the numerical difference, okay, of their test, what exactly it's, accuracy and those things. They didn't state all those things. I have a problem with that. But anyways, that's one of the issues. So we are training you to become future leaders and be able to also do work. So let me open up a work. Let me come here and say I'll open a work. All right. Let's assume that I've done some work. So based on this, I just want to cite this, okay? Forgive me. I don't have enough time. So, but this means that I'm not doing just copying. You must actually do work on it. Okay, so clinical value. Okay, so I'll just speak that I'm assuming that I have done the work to it. I'll put it here. So according to so and so and so, so I just bring it there. According to, so I want to reference. I'll come to the Zotero and say add citation. Okay, so to what part exactly paper? Not now. So here I'm using the APA star. You can see it. All right, and say okay. Then it's calling for, so let's say Zoom introductions. These are not the papers I have in there. I have a number of papers. So these are not the, when I did the Zoom, this guy came. Look at